This show is sponsored by Horizon HVAC, who you can count on for all of your heating and cooling needs. Also by CES Construction, who specializes in bathroom and kitchen remodels. Today we sit down with Albert Martinez, owner of Verified Barbershop in Woonsocket, Rhode Island. Albert talks about his struggles as a kid and the discipline that it took to turn his life around. I hope you all enjoy this episode. Welcome to the Mindset Radio Podcast, episode 4. All right, here we are, episode 4 with Albert Martinez, owner of Verified Barbershop. Welcome.
Hey, thank you, man. Thank you for having me, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the big reasons why I have this show and I started the show is because it allows me to connect with people in this community, in this area that all want to do, that, want to make a change, that are in business or want to continue with another business. And a lot of people had mentioned your name. You were brought up a few times. And I think it was about 3 people reached out to me individually and they said, hey, you should have this kid on. He's got a cool story. And I said, why not? And that's what this show is all about, is getting people on that I can just get to know on the fly. And hopefully down the line, we get to do something in the future. We develop a relationship and, say you got something down the line 12 months from now, hey, I got this. And that's what this show is all about. It's the ultimate form of networking and getting to know people in the coolest way possible, I think.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about yourself. Where were you born? What's your story? And, give me a little backdrop.
I was born in Brooklyn, New York, but I've lived in Rhode Island most of my life. So, I don't know. Tell me a little about myself.
So you were born in Brooklyn. How old were you? How long did you stay in Brooklyn for?
I was young. I was like 5 or 6 when we moved to Rhode Island. So I lived in Rhode Island.
Do you remember any of New York at all?
Only because we went back and forth in the beginning a lot.
Yeah.
And when I got older, I got family out there, so I went back and forth once I got older.
Do you still go out there like to this day?
Not as much as I want to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm doing.
New York's tricky, man. New York is. I love New York.
Yeah,
I've been there a bunch. I've been to the Bronx Zoo. I've been to the Bronx. I've been to Brooklyn. I've been to Manhattan. Times Square is beautiful.
Yeah.
We went to a Gennady Golovkin fight at the Garden when I was working for CES, a promotion company, and we stayed at this hotel right across the street from the Garden, and it was this old school, just like ran down hotel. And when you walked inside, the lobby was beautiful, but like on the outside, it just looked so vintage, like out of Gotham. Yeah, and that's what I love about New York. You have those like areas of New York that like just look so so prestigious, and the history behind New York is just awesome.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's just tough. It's going in a weird direction. It seems like there's a lot of like with the defunding the police and all that crap, and it just seems like it's in a tough spot, and it's been in a better spot.
Yeah,
but I can't speak on it too much because I'm not there a lot. But from what I see, it looks New York's beautiful, man. I love it. You've been to Times Square and all that stuff?
Oh yeah. Every time we go, we popping down there. My family's from Brooklyn, but we go down to Times Square. I just went out there about 2 weeks ago and went to a Knicks game.
Oh really?
My first Knicks game, so that was pretty
first
cool.
Basketball game or first Knicks game?
My first basketball game.
I've never been.
Yeah, so it was cool. I've been to the Giants Stadium, but that was my first time.
Yeah, I've been to Gillette. I've been to Fenway, but that's it, man. That's it. I want to go to a Celtics game. I've never been to a Celtics game. And I want to start going to a few Patriots games outside of this, outside of Gillette.
Yeah.
I think that's cool to just bring your kid or some friends and kind of just travel to New York or Jersey or wherever. We were going to go to a Dallas game last year, but it never happened. Yeah. So when did you move to, so you were 5 years old or something around that area when you moved to Rhode Island?
5 or 6 when we moved to Rhode Island.
Did you move here just for better, just to get out of New York? Like what was that?
Yeah, I think my mom just didn't think it was a good place for us to grow up.
Yeah.
So she moved us out here, me and my older sister.
Yeah.
Moved out here, and then I went to school all my whole life in Woonsocket. I'm the only one that never left. My sisters moved away. My youngest sister lives in South Carolina. My older sister lives upstate now.
Yeah.
My mom originally had moved down to South Carolina too. So, but I stood.
What was your childhood like? Did you would you do I was a skateboarder when I was younger. I love skateboarding. I love like playing basketball. What kind of stuff did you do?
I got in trouble.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah,
but I got into a lot of trouble early when we first came out here. So,
was it the people you were hanging out with, or what do you think started that?
It was just the time, man. Everybody was just kind of we were outside more,
I know.
It's not like now everybody's just stuck in the house on their phone. We were just outside getting into shit. So getting into stuff.
No,
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. You're good.
So, I got into a lot of trouble early. Like I got into trouble like I ended up doing like 10 years in jail. Like
Straight?
No, I did a year, then I did like 2.5, I did 4, stints like that. And I ended up with like 10 years.
Did it start in truancy? Because that's how it started for me. I started like with truancy court, and I feel like that's a design that is it's a very tricky subject for me because it seems counterintuitive to me. It feels like, you want us to stay out of trouble, but you kind of induce us into the system very early. Like for me, I was, when I was in truancy court, I was a freshman in high school. That's when it all started. And, I would go into like the lunch area, and there would be like a panel, like a courtroom, and they would be like, you were late this many times. And they had like crazy. In-house suspension.
Oh yeah, I've done that.
I was always in, I think it was called ALP or I can't remember.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. But I was always in in-house suspension, always suspended, always in trouble. And it started, and I actually went to court. Like when it got so bad to the point where like the in-house truancy wasn't working, they sent me to actual court in Providence, where I had to go sit in front of a woman judge and talk about, how I smoked weed and how I skipped school. And it started that cycle of just getting in trouble. Eventually they put me in a rehab, and then in a training school. I was in training school for 6 months. I was in a rehab for 6 months. And it started that whole cycle of like just getting in trouble. And like when you're at that young of an age and you're getting told all the time that you're a troublemaker, you're doing things wrong and this is what it's going to lead. I feel like it can be counterintuitive. I guess it could help some people, but
well, I didn't get into a lot of like that kind of trouble, like really that much. When I was in school, I was actually kind of a nerd, to be honest. I just got into trouble like out of school. Like, you know what I mean?
Did you like school?
I liked school, man. I was so mad when I went to training school. They gave me 6 months and I got my GED while I was there because I just couldn't sit there not doing that. So I got my GED while I was there. But I didn't understand the system. That when I got out, I tried to go back to school.
Really?
And I was like, can I come back?
Yeah,
and
I did. I stayed back.
Nah, you can't come back. You're basically already graduated now. I was like, damn.
They let me come back.
Everybody was still in school. I wanted to go back.
Yep. They let me come back. I was a junior and I stayed back my junior year. And I ended up thankfully being able to get back in, and I did 5 years in high school and I ended up graduating. But there was nobody to tell me that, I had to wake up every day and go to school. I kind of just knew that I had to get a GED or a diploma, which thankfully I got a diploma because I ended up getting into the union, and I don't think I would have been able to get in the union without a diploma. So it happened for a reason, but yeah, man, it's
same for me. I got when I was doing time is when I was doing in 2000. I was doing 2.5 years, and that's when I got my barber's license. That's when I decided I wanted to cut hair in 2000. I had been back and forth a couple of times. I got my license. I came home. I cut hair for a couple of years. Then I ended up going back doing 4 years. And then in that 4 years, I was done. I came home in 2008 from the 4 years, and I was.
Were they like serious charges? Can you?
Yeah, I mean, well, possession, intent to deliver. I was selling shit like stuff like that, and I had a possession of a firearm. That's what got me the 2.5, and then another possession with intent that got me 4.
What was your first charge ever?
My first charge ever was possession.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old were you?
17.
Yeah.
That's when I did 16. And I did a little bit of time in the training school.
Yeah, it's tough.
But once you're in the system, and it was easy for me to like roll over into the ACI, and then I was caught up in that for a while. Like I said, I did almost 10 years, and then I was doing that last bid, it was 4, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so done with this.
Yeah.
And that was it. I haven't been back. I've been home since 2008, December 2008. I haven't no more trouble. Been back to just.
Was it tough adjusting, getting, doing that time and then coming back and acclimating to, the streets out here? How was that?
It was more just staying away from, like the biggest thing was just staying away from the people I knew were still doing this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, so I just had to kind of like, I didn't even change my circle. I just kind of didn't have a circle. You know what I mean? Yeah. I just kind of just stood to myself. I was making music, so I was traveling. So that helped out. And I was working at a barbershop. So it was like, my hours were like kind of lax to let me travel for a while and stuff. Like I toured for like 1.5 years straight.
Wow.
With I don't know, this guy that was this local guy, his name was Flawless.
Yeah, I know Flawless.
Yeah,
I don't know him, but I know of him. Yeah.
Yeah, I was signed with his label for like 4 years, but we toured for like 1.5 years.
Oh, no kidding.
Right until pre-pandemic. And then that ended up leaving the label. Pandemic hit.
Do you know G's?
Yeah.
Ephraim?
He's from. You talking about Big G's from Woonsocket? Glenn?
No, not Glenn.
Oh no.
No, his name's Ephraim. He's from Brooklyn, or I think he's from the Bronx. He what's that kid that does those ciphers? The
you're talking about Lingo.
Lingo. Yeah, he was on Lingo. Yeah. He was on that stuff's cool, man. I actually,
Lingo's been doing it for a long time. Good for him. He's been keeping that alive for a while now.
Yeah, I watch his stuff. I've been following his stuff. A friend of mine, Jared Tapley, and all his crew, they were on a bunch of times. Mm-hmm. I actually seen a lot of kids blow up from his, or go from his platform and go off to do bigger stuff like that dude Mills from Boston. Millies, yeah. He was on
the kid Token.
Yes, Token. He was on too.
I was on a cipher with Token.
Really?
His first cipher.
He's talented. That kid is talented.
I met him when he was like 15, and bro,
he was making crazy music. He still does.
He has a freestyle out over the Rap God, Eminem's Rap God. That was the first thing I ever heard about from him. I was like,
pull that up, Ash. I want to see that really quick.
Kid is insane.
Have you ever heard of Token?
No.
His stuff now. Have you heard him now? Since he's been like,
it's different.
It's different, but he's like super talented, bro. He's super deep. Talented, bro.
Go to Token. What was that? The first, right here, Rap God.
Yeah, Rap God.
Yeah, play that. The way he puts his words together is incredible. I did this for a while. So like, very similar story. Like back when I was younger, I skateboarded. I got into a lot of trouble. I sold drugs. I did the whole nine, and music was a big part of my life too. I made a lot of music. I made beats. Do you ever hear of Crisis?
No.
He's from Pawtucket. He was an old school guy that was around for a while, but he made some crazy stuff. I'll show you his stuff after. But he stopped making music. He was very similar to Token. He made really good music. But there was this guy, Mac Miller, that was right around the same time Mac Miller dropped. It was right when Token came out.
Yeah, Token's.
So do you know him, or you were just in a cipher with him?
No, we're not boys, no, but I know him.
Yeah.
I got one song with him, and I think we were on two Lingo ciphers together.
Oh, you were on some Lingos?
Yeah. Nice. We used to go back and forth to LA to go do Team Backpack. He was out there one time when we did it, and he obviously won.
Yeah.
The kid is amazing, you know what I mean? So
was that his like did everybody know that about him, like back then, that he was special?
Oh, yeah. Around here, everybody did. And then the first thing I remember happening to him for that was big was like T-Pain shared his Rap God or something like that.
Yeah, I do.
And then he linked up with Mark Wahlberg. He put him in that movie. What was that movie from Boston that they filmed in Boston?
Four Brothers.
No, not Four Brothers. It was later. I can't think. Patriots Day.
Okay.
He was like a college kid in one of the dorms. He was in that movie, and then he has songs in like NBA Night. Now he's killing it, man. Right from I think he's from Salem, Mass.
Yeah, play it real quick, Ash. Yeah, he's. Is this it? I feel like this is different than what I remember.
Sounds kind of like him.
Yeah, he's kind of got that going.
Wow.
The kid was only like 14 when he recorded it.
Hey, was he really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good. All right, that's good. That's good. That's cool, man. So what made you get into cutting hair? What made you get into
I was doing some time, and I didn't want to get back into the street no more. I was old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, bro, it's time to do something different. So like I decided to get my license when I was doing this 2.5-year bid. And it worked out, man. I came home. I just kind of took to it like really quick. There was a lot of OGs in there showing me how to cut hair. I took to it really quick. I came home. I went right into a barbershop. You know, I was hustling and I was cutting hair at the same time. So I didn't really I had 1 foot in, 1 foot out still. Yeah. But then about 1.5 years later, I caught 4. And then I was
4 years.
Yeah, I caught 4 years.
Yeah.
And then
so you did 4 years straight.
Yeah, I did 4 years.
When you're inside, is there a lot of people that like have that attitude of like wanting to do better when they get out? And do you guys like collaborate on like ideas on things to do when you get out? And do they take it serious?
The shit is 9 out of 10 of the guys that are in there want to change when they get out.
Yeah.
It's just that there's a lot of factors that when they do, that makes them forget about it. They pretty much guys don't want to be fucking up. You know what I mean? They just, it's the easier way to go. No excuses, but they just fall into old habits. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's easy to do that. You know what I mean? So most guys, when you're in there, most guys are talking positive. Most guys are like, I'm going to do this when I get out. That's most guys. It's just how many of those guys are going to follow.
And is that because they don't have anything at that moment?
It's just easier. They go, but they don't do what I do. Like they'll come to home and still deal with the same people they were, thinking that they can do something different while they're hanging out with the same people, while they're still doing all the same things. And then, you know, just like when you were a kid, you are who you hang out with type shit. So that's just how it goes. You know what I mean? So
what was like the big thing that you told yourself, like, all right, I'm going to do this in order to make sure that I said,
I'm not going to sell no more drugs.
Yeah.
I'm just going to find a way that doesn't have anything to do with selling drugs. And I just did. I just found a way. First, it was touring and I was selling my merchandise. I used to cut hair, selling merchandise outside the shop. I used to ask anybody in the city. I'd be up and down the street selling my merchandise. People looking at me like I'm crazy, but I was doing it and I was staying out of trouble. You know what I mean? So like a few years in, I started getting a little bit more respect for it. And then my music career got a little bit better, and the barbershop got, like, it kind of went hand in hand. People they just wanted to be around me because they liked what I was doing. You know what I mean? And that's why the shop now took off so quick, is because people have seen me build from being, like, I've been in Woonsocket my whole life pretty much. What, 40 years now, 39 years? I'm 44, I'm gonna be 45 this summer. So they've seen me be the other guy. And then all the same people see me be the guy I am now. That's just with my family, working, my own business, just like not in the streets anymore. So they respect it more. It just made it so much easier to do business because they just kind of drawn to me because they know it's like authentic. You know what I mean?
That's powerful, man. And that's so true, because people, when they see someone decide to make that change to do better, you know, it's a very honorable thing, because I think everybody knows how hard it is to do. Yeah. It's not an easy thing. It can be if you have the right mindset. But for the most part, you know, you have to do a lot of work in order to get to that point, and people respect that. You know, everybody deserves a fresh start. Everybody makes decisions in their past that they're not proud of. We've all made plenty, but it just matters the next day. And if you really truly want to change, then you can make anything happen, especially now with what we have.
Compared to like cutting hair, right? So like I get kids that come in where they have long hair on top, short hair on the sides, and they want to let their hair grow out because they want it to all be the same length. So they're trying to let the side of their hair grow out, but they never make it. They always end up shaving it off because they don't like how it looks. There's like an ugly stage in between, and nobody ever wants to go through the ugly stage. You know what I mean? And I had to go through the ugly stage for a long time. You know what I mean? Like, it took me a while. I kept shaving it. You know what I mean? And then when I came home, I was like, I didn't care anymore. I was just like, I was so focused. I was like, I'll just go through the ugly stage, and I just did it. Kept my blockers on, stood to myself. Everybody that knows me, that sees us, don't know. I just kind of took my blockers on. And now, like, haven't made it, but I've made it through that part. Now it's just like,
that's a really good analogy.
You know,
powerful.
So like, that's just how it's been for me now. So now, like, my hair's growing out. Not really, but you know, like, I got married. You know, family man. I try to do my best for my kids, and I run a pretty good business. You know what I mean? And we make good money now, and things are better. You know what I mean? But it was like a really ugly period that, you know, it's really hard to get through for some people, especially when you get to a point when you're like 40, you're like, damn, can I even turn things around right now? Like, is it even too late to do that? I might as well just stay over here, because how the hell am I going to turn things around when I'm 40 or 35? A lot of guys get there too when they come home from prison, right? They're like, damn, I'm already 40. What am I going to do? Like, am I really going to be a different person? Yeah, you can actually do that. You know what I mean? It's just like, and people ask me, like, I do stuff for the community, but they ask like, oh, how do you give back? I give back by like, just showing that you can do it. Like, you know what I mean? Is you just have to like dig in. Like, I'm not like a hard dude or nothing like that, but people know like how I used to live. Yeah. I wasn't a person that really gave a shit too much. And the person they see me as now, and I'm glad that has an effect. You know what I mean? Like, that in itself has an effect. Like, you know, just people see me now. It feels good to see people like, yo, Chi, I remember when you used to be.
It feels great.
You know, it feels great. You know what I mean?
It's one of the most rewarding things when somebody sees your struggle and they know where you are now. Yeah. We get messages all the time, almost every day. You know, of people just watching our journey, watching where we were, watching where we are now, and just the respect that they show and the support that they show just drives me to want to do more and more. Yeah. And I wish and I hope more people can can be like that. And I know they're out there. I know that everybody wants to see everybody do good, but there's also those people who are not in a good position that don't like seeing people do good. And I think that just kind of reflects on the position that they're at in their particular life for that moment. But you know, when you decide to make that change, you know, what was the first thing that that you did that surprised you, that you were like, wow, this can actually work? Like,
when I got into a really bad spot financially and I didn't turn to hustle. Like I was like at a place where I was like, shit, what am I gonna do? Like where, you know what I mean? Like I was at like that place, and I was like, damn, like I just this once real quick, and I just never did it. So like that part.
And you had the opportunity to.
And I've had the opportunity to. I've been here my whole life. You know what I mean? It would have been very easy to
make a quick move.
And it's just really that part that I didn't. That's when like I know in the particular time I'm thinking of, like when that time happened, I didn't do it. I knew I was just done with it.
Like, did you ever struggle with drugs, like using drugs?
Weed.
Yeah.
I still smoke weed, but I stopped flower and I went to vaping a little bit. So I kind of slowed down with that too. But that was like my last vice. I stopped smoking cigarettes. I'm not really a drinker anymore because I made a lot of bad decisions when I was drinking. So that was a really big part of me changing, because drinking, I had no control. I don't like having no control.
Yeah. What does Jared say? He doesn't have a drinking problem. There's just a problem every time he drinks. Yeah. You know, he wasn't necessarily waking up vomiting, needing alcohol, but every time he drank, you know, something would happen.
I did. So I decided to stop drinking.
When you were selling, did you ever make enough money to actually like say, in other words, like, did you ever invest that money into anything?
That's you never.
I know
you never think. I wasn't even thinking that way.
Yeah.
And to say I wish I did, I mean, you know, that would have been.
That's everybody. It's funny how that works though. Yeah. You know, when you do have, you know, when you have tens of thousands of dollars flowing through your hands every week, and you're buying this and that, trying to stay up with that,
the last thing
that lifestyle of,
you don't think about that tomorrow is probably going to be done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I never thought of that. Nobody ever does when they're doing it. You know what I mean?
No,
that's what's good now. Like I've been blessed to like have, like I used to think about that, the money I spent. But now I'm like, I've been blessed to have a chance to like, I make more money now than I did selling drugs. You know what I mean? I work harder for it, but I make more money now than I did selling drugs. It's more rewarding too. It's more rewarding. You know what I mean? Like, so I got another chance. It doubled back for me. And the things that I didn't do then, now I can say, you know what? If you ask me now, did you invest? Hell yeah, I did. You know what I mean? Like I learned, I got a chance. You know what I mean? Not everybody gets that chance, but now I have a chance to, you know?
So what was the first steps that you took to start the barbershop?
I worked at the same place for like 13 years. Right down the street from where I am now.
On Elm Street, right?
Yeah, right on Elm, right before Michael's. I was there for like 13 years from when I came
on the right. So if you take a left
like
down Elm from Wood, it's on.
It's on the right.
Wood, you take like a left on the Elm. Building. It's on that right there.
Yep. Yeah, I was there in that spot for about like 13, and then pandemic came. We got back and when they finally let us back into the shop, I started calling customers back, and I'm like, shit, if I gotta do this, I'm gonna bring them to my own place. So I tried to buy that place. Didn't work out, so I just decided, you know, it's time to get my own place. And when I slowed down with music, I was like, when I slow down, because I want to put my 100% into it, you know what I mean? So while I was making music, I never wanted to own a shop because I knew I wasn't going to give it the attention that it needed. So I was like, I'm going to do this now, and then that's something I'll do down the line. Yeah. And then the pandemic hit and just stopped everything. There was no more shows. There was no more like nothing. I was just creating shit out of thin air. So then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm getting older now. You know what I mean? I'm just going to dive into the barbershop shit, you know?
Do you have other chairs there that you rent out?
Yeah, it's 3 other chairs.
3 chairs. How hard is it finding people that are that show up every day, reliable?
Well, I got blessed because I got one guy that I brought with me. Yeah. We've been cutting hair, for a long time together. So he's been coming. The last 2 shops I worked at, he worked with me. So he came over with me. And then my cousin was there, so he came over with me. And the license in the last shop was in my name, so he really didn't have. He tried to like find another barber, but didn't. So they shut down right away.
So you have to have a license to be like a licensed barber.
You don't have to have you don't have to have a license to own it, but you have to have a licensed barber as the manager of the shop.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you don't have to have a license to open a barber.
What's the process of getting that? Is that just like a
your license?
Yeah.
You can either go to the school or you can get apprentice for 2 years and then take a test.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you got to put work in to get that license.
Oh yeah. They used to do by hours. Now it's just by 2 years straight, or you got to go to school for it.
So, all right. So you got your shop, you rent out 3 chairs.
Mhm.
So you're making money from those 3 chairs.
Mhm.
You're making your money that you charge.
Mhm.
And then, after the bills, after all, you just pay your rent, your electric and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And the rest is overflow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no real overhead. You got a little bit of utilities and cable Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And
What's
then-
one thing that came up that you didn't think would come up that you deal with all the time?
It's not a lot because I've been
Because you've been doing it for
managing.
so long.
I've been doing it a while, so I managed the other place. I think the biggest thing is that I didn't think it would be so hard to get a consistent barber.
Mm.
So like I have those guys, but now my cousin ended up leaving. I still have the guy that's been with me forever. He's staying probably until he's not cutting hair anymore. That's my man right there. And then I got now then I had his brother. His brother stood for a while. He just moved to North Carolina. Now I just got a new guy because they opened a barber school in Pawtucket. Shout out to Scott Anthony Barber School in Pawtucket. They're trying to help kids, get their license off the street and stuff.
Awesome.
They're really, really nice guys. But I just got a new guy from them. He's 20, so
That's good.
Yeah.
So why do you think it's so hard to keep guys in the same chair? Is it because they want to go out on their own?
It's because it's hard to. It's like if it's the best guy I want is a guy that already has a clientele. The guy that already has a clientele is already at a shop. So
Is already at a shop or thinking about opening up his own shop? Oh, you mean
either or.
Yeah,
Either
yeah,
or.
yeah.
Either he has a clientele and he's ready to open up his own shop, or he's at another shop and doesn't want to leave that shop because he doesn't want to lose any of his clientele. Because even if they're a good clientele, you're gonna lose like 35%, 40 maybe, because they live around the corner from the shop. So they're just gonna keep going there. Like, there's other reasons, not because of you. It just might be more just easier for them. So they just stay going to that shop and you lose.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get a guy to leave a shop. You know what I mean? Like that's like the hardest, but that's what you want. You know what I mean? So
all right. So
and then you get a guy from school and you gotta get him to get through the rough stage where he's not busy, so he doesn't want to quit because he thinks he's gonna make $1 million. He just got out of school and they've been telling him in school he's gonna make so much money, and then he goes to a shop and he does 3 heads in a week. So now it's hard to get that guy to stay and like build a clientele. It's like
I think cutting hair, like this business, is one of the more consistent based businesses that there is. What I see from a barber is that you have to just show up every day. You have to be consistent.
That's all I tell them.
They need to be able to know that you're there all the time.
That's what I tell them. You gotta be
put your time in.
person.
You gotta put your time in.
Anytime they call you, even if it's on your day off, every once in a while you gotta be like, yeah, you know what, I'll go in and take care of you because they got a wedding or something that came up.
Yeah.
Like I make myself available. Like not all the time, but I'm like, can you stay a half hour later? Yeah, I'm gonna be 20 minutes late. All right. You know what I mean? Like I'm really flexible with stuff.
Yeah.
So over the last 13 years, it's like I built a lot of clientele. And then when I jumped in this place, it just
Are you cutting hair all day throughout the day? All day long.
All day long. Most days.
Does that kill your? Are you just used
kills, but I love it.
Really?
Yeah, bro. It kills. Like I got carpal tunnel, all that stuff, bro. But it's all good. I'll be all right. Oh yeah.
But you're making what, $40 a clip? $40 a head?
Well, I do
40,
like
50, something
it'll be between 30 and 45.
Yeah.
And I do 2 cuts an hour. Do about 20 cuts a day.
2 cuts an hour, 20 cuts a day. So yeah, you're making them $500 a day almost.
Yeah,
something like that.
That's great. Yeah, before tips. So like, I'll end up like, I don't want to say, but it's pretty good.
No shit. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's pretty good. Like compared to like, and it's crazy because the last place that's where you got to take a jump, man. You got to do it. Like I hesitated a little bit, but you got to do it.
That, man.
You got to do it, man, because like I went from my income, like I'm making like 4 or 5 times what I was making. And all I did was just say, you know what?
You took the risk.
I took a risk and took my clientele, went over here, did some branding with the verified logo and stuff, did a little bit of branding and shit. And
I want to see that logo.
Off,
Ash, can you pull up the logo? I want to check it out. So what did you do for your marketing?
Well, the biggest thing was, right? So this guy that I used to deal with, he used to do all my marketing, like my social media stuff. He's like, I'm trying to find a name. I'm like, I'm gonna open business. I want to try to find a name. He's like, bro, verified. He's like, when you're looking for something good, when you're looking for something that's official, he's like, it's the check mark, it's verified. Yeah. So he's like, so to us just thinking about it, that makes sense, right? Well, also Google has an algorithm. Ooh. So when somebody's saying I'm looking for a good barbershop, and I'm looking for a great haircut, verified, I'm looking for an official barber. Verified is kind of what do you call those words? I can't think of it. Yeah, that's the first thing that comes up.
Keywords,
bro.
Keywords,
bro. Look, I want to show you.
So
and that from the name that he gave me, bro. This is what he's doing for me. This is like every day.
What is that?
This is an app that I use called Booksy, but that's like every day.
Oh, okay. That's what my barber uses, Booksy.
And he's like, bro, if you use that name, he's like, watch what happens. And I used it, and
Right
bro,
when
I set up my app, and boom.
Pull that mic a little bit closer.
There was a bunch. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
There was a bunch of people that I never know booking me, like people just coming into the city. I'm like, what the hell's going on? He's
So
like,
wait,
people
so
are
as
looking
soon
for
as
a
you
good
changed,
barber.
so as soon as you changed your name to Verified Barber,
As soon as I put Verified Barbershop up into the search engine on Google, bro, it went nuts.
wow.
It went nuts.
What kind of money did you put behind the marketing? Like, are you paying ad spends?
I haven't really even put any money into it yet. He just taught me some things because I promoted music for a long time. So I just applied some of the same things.
Yeah.
And then Channel 12 came down, did an interview. I'm on TV. So then I have that tool to use on social media. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I said, people in the neighborhood just spoke for me. That's what was so good about it. Everybody was
That's
just speaking
the
for me.
best,
Yo, Chi finally opening up his shop. Because I talked about it for years. I'm going to open up a shop. So now everybody's talking about it around the city. You know?
Can you pull up that article from the news? I just want to play that real quick so we can see inside of a shop. Do they go through your shop?
Yeah, they. Yeah.
Yeah, hit play on that, Ash. Let's see. So Channel 12 came out.
Life
How
is
was
about
that? That must have been surreal.
Nah, it was pretty cool.
I mean, doing time to coming out and
After several stints
being on the
at
news for
state
something
training
positive.
facilities, Martinez knew it was either time to clean up his lifestyle or else. His motivation, a
To even have this guy like talking about me, Mike Monte Carlo, that's pretty cool.
This week's Street Stories.
This is cool, man.
If I thought I was going to be on the news, it would be for a whole nother reason.
yeah, exactly.
I've done in total 10 years in prison. From drug
How long ago
charges
was this?
To possession of a firearm charge.
Maybe about a year ago.
A complete 180 for
Probably about
Albert
maybe a little less
Martinez.
than a
He's
year.
gone from the streets back and forth
Like
to
last
prison
summer?
until finally realizing enough is
Okay,
enough.
I know exactly where that
Martinez's
is. Yep.
rap sheet is long.
From drug charges to possession of a firearm charge. I was about 18 years old first time. I did a little bit of time when I came
I'm gonna
home.
link this.
I
I'm gonna link this in the
same
description.
lifestyle.
I want
Before,
everybody to
did
go
a
check
training
this out,
school
man. This
time,
is
so I
awesome.
did 6 months in there. So it was just kind of a cycle. The last time I was in, I did about 4.5. And since 2008, man, I just been. on a
So you
different
went with the
path,
red
you know what I
theme,
mean?
the red and black?
It was
Yeah,
time.
man.
Nice.
The only thing I don't
Time
have
to
is the
change,
black and white checker floors that I want. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna
You'll
get
get
them.
them.
Yeah, I'll get
A
them.
look in the
All right, that's
mirror.
good, Ash. That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I'll link that in the description. That's
All right,
cool,
cool.
man. So I want to touch on the marketing a little bit more. So you went to him for the logo and the name, and you guys just came up. What was the first name that you had? Did you have a different name before?
I don't even remember. It was like a bunch of dumb
So you
ones.
just had a brick and mortar,
Yeah, and I'm just
no
going
name,
back and forth.
just saying, hey, when they called you, come by my shop.
And he was like, the kids would. He's like, you want something that younger kids are gonna recognize.
Yeah,
So he's like, everybody recognizes a blue check.
for sure.
I'm surprised they didn't get sued or something. But
Yeah.
whatever. I'm sure I don't make enough money for them to be worried about little old barbershop in Woonsocket. But
Yeah.
everybody's like, a blue check, they know what that is. It means something as soon as you see it. So that's exactly what I want them to think about my shop. Official, good, great, whatever you want to think about when it comes to verified, you know what I mean? So it's pretty cool. Social media, they take pictures in front of we have like the logos on the wall. So they take pictures
cool.
in front of them.
Tag you and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's huge. That's huge. So let's talk about cheating on the barber, because I know that's a huge thing, right? I want to tell something. I had a barber. His name's Laz. He's one of my really good friends, and we don't talk much anymore because I went to somebody else. But to go to him was to go drive 40 minutes into Cumberland. There was no call-ins. He had just show up, right?
Mhm.
So I was there for 2 hours.
You never know
I
when you're
never knew how long I was
Mhm.
going to be there. Awesome haircut. Still, still, like I said, I love the guy. But I think he got upset when I went to Tim, my buddy Tim Chamberlain. Shout out Tim Chamberlain, awesome
Boulevard,
kid.
right?
Yeah, Boulevard, awesome guys over there. I just saw Pat at the gym. And when I started going to him, he was like, yo, what the, stop talking. We like really stopped talking, and I would hit him up from time to time, and I could tell like the vibe was different. But, what is that like? Like when you see one of your clients that you've been cutting for years, all of a sudden go to another barber.
And they come back.
Sure. Yeah.
If they come back, because it's different. If they go and they don't come back, then it's different. Then
Yeah.
then there's there's a
So
little
they found,
bit of.
okay.
But if you go and get a haircut, but you still come back,
Yeah.
then I'm okay. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They're like, oh, I went over here to get a cut because I couldn't get in with you.
Say it's okay. So
You know,
say they leave.
I'm still gonna
for
dog.
years.
I'm still gonna dog the haircut you got. The other guy.
So say they leave and then they don't ever come back. You're like,
Oh, if
right
they don't
off.
leave it, you're dead to me.
Wow. See, I knew it, man. Laz, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, Laz. Do you know Laz Barbosa? No. Damn, man. I gotta call him.
If you
after
leave and
this.
don't come back, I don't know, man.
Listen,
That's tough.
it got to the point where my life just started. Every hour I needed a slot. I needed.
But his situation is different though because you couldn't make appointments if you wanted to.
Yeah, I lived in Woonsocket.
You know?
He was all the way in South Cumberland, so I had to drive all the way to South Cumberland and sit there.
That's
and
a little
wait.
different. So if
Yeah,
somebody could
and-
make an appointment with me, but they make it with someone else and they've been coming to me forever,
Yep.
they gotta have a good one when they
And
come
now,
back.
and now,
They gotta have a good
now
excuse when they
I'm getting
come back.
cut by Tim, and I said I can't go back to Laz. You know what I mean? Because then I'd be leaving Tim.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, Tim, I'm never gonna leave you, buddy. But it's funny, man. Does that happen a lot in like the hairstyle in the?
I don't know. I've been a traveler my whole
That's
life,
right.
so I've never had just one person to do my hair, my
okay.
nails, anything. So I find it to be fun actually because you meet so many different people
Yeah, yeah.
when you do that you know
And
and you figure out what you actually
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, you're gonna get different kinds
Different
of styles from different
styles.
people. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see that.
It's fun.
But,
That's funny, man.
But not for us.
That's funny.
No, not in Woonsocket.
So I cracked the code. Now I know.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I'm always gonna dog the last haircut. I would be straight. I don't care if he gave you a clean ass fade. He fucked you up right here in this corner.
100% Is there anything else that you want to like go for? Like, is there anything on your radar that you want to do like while you're doing this, or like like I have a construction company, and I'm a true entrepreneur. I have to have my hands in everything. I've been like that since I was a kid. Like I've always sold jerseys and fidget spinners and all the hot trends that come around. I'm buying 1,000 of them and I'm marking them up a little bit. That's just my nature. It's always what I've done. So I have my construction company. Then I got approached for an HVAC company and started that business.
Mhm.
And now we're doing a fitness business and
Nice.
I'm doing this and that. I enjoy jumping around from different things. And I think honestly, it keeps me sharp
Mhm.
in each stage because I get to put a few hours a day in each one. Do you have anything else that you have your eyes on? And
I do.
what is
I
it?
do. You know, I went through like the rundown, like what everybody usually does, like when they're trying to think of like a second business, right? So I'm like, oh, can I get a truck and do some like junk removal and store moves and stuff? And I don't want to do that much physical fucking labor. You know what I mean? Then I'm like, oh, I can do bounty houses. If I get the truck, I can also deliver bounty
Bounty
houses.
houses. That was
stuff
one of
like
Talked
that.
about
Yep.
both.
So I'm like, that's another one that everybody goes to. But
Yep.
I zeroed in on one. I want to open a gaming lounge, and I want
There
it
was
to
one
be,
at the Emerald Mall.
yes, but
It wasn't good.
not like I want to open up a gaming lounge that has, say, 15 stations, PS5s, nice gaming chairs, really updated with like LED lights, chrome everywhere, not like for little kids, something that looks more adultish, you know what I mean? Have stations set up and have all the newest games available, have it so they can even log into their game tag if they want to, and then just rent it out by the hour.
I saw that, right? They
They have them in other places,
They
and,
did
and
that.
I see them. They work. I've seen one that they have that's just zeroed in on.
How do you make your money? They're just renting out
You just rent out. It's only one course that you're really gonna pay. Is off top is you're gonna pay for TVs, PS5s. It just has to. You have to put the money because it has to be nice gaming chairs. It have to have the best equipment, the best games.
So what would
But
make
then-
them want to go there instead of just playing at home?
A lot of kids don't have PS5s. How many kids does your mom want at your house playing PS5?
Yeah,
at
a
once?
lot. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Guys, and it's not only kids now. Guys are playing PS5 and shit all the way up to you play. I play.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So like, it's just like somewhere they can meet up, play. Somewhere you can do birthday parties, rent out. They can rent 5 TVs and be up there playing with all their boys, playing Madden or whatever it is that guys are playing now. Like, it just will work. There's just no way it doesn't. Everybody likes PS5s. Most kids can't afford those games. They can't afford, but their mom can afford $20 for an hour at the gaming lounge. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like
Yeah.
that.
It's
You know?
almost like it would be like
And like you said, instead of it's a need.
yeah.
Gaming is a
Yeah.
need now. It's not
Yeah.
even just a want anymore. Everybody games now.
Yeah.
So
I've been
And we don't
wanting
have one.
to crack into that gaming industry somehow. I just don't know where I'm going to fit.
I think that's a good space because like the way I see it is I don't want to devote too much of my time. So I need kids from 14 to 20 that know how to play video games. That's every single one. And that know how to work with the systems. That's every single one. There's not a kid I can't pull in off the street right now that can't tell me how to do anything on a PS5. Yeah. And then I put cameras up so I can see it from the barbershop.
Food, drinks?
No. What I would do is I would connect with a pizza shop that's nearby and tell them that I'll put their menu up. People can order and they would deliver for them. That way I don't have to deal with the health department. Because if you're not making food, then you don't have to deal with the health department. You can just have it ordered over. I actually thought that whole idea, I saw one exactly like this that worked, and it just
around here.
They had it on Pulaski, but the only mistake that they made is that they geared it towards little kids. It was like orange and blue and green little couches with these little box TVs. It was like the look wasn't there. It's all about kids want to IG, Instagram, social media, everything. So if it looks the part and it looks great on social media.
LED white,
chrome. It has to be that. You know what I mean? And if they can do that, if they can social media that and go there play with their boys, and there's nothing like it, it would be the first one.
Memberships.
That's what my wife said. She's like, you do memberships because people pay for memberships and don't even go.
They forget. All year they're
memberships, birthday parties. So that's like my thing. And it doesn't even matter if someone else does it because I think it's a space that's so wide open there could be 3 or 4 of them. You know what I mean? It doesn't even matter if someone else does it.
I have a question on that. Do you think a brick and mortar is better than going the mobile route? Because I've seen some trucks, they've developed it where you go to the house and still do that same birthday party.
I would want to do both. I would want to have like a brick and mortar, but then have our own van where we also an extension of it. Say like we'll also send a van to you if you want to have a party. Like some people would rather do that, or some people don't. You know, they don't want anything next to their house. They might want, you know what I mean. But I think both, a mix of both would be good.
We did that for Mikey's birthday one year. We had a trailer come by with like a gaming system, and it was like a lounge area. You walked in, and there was couches and a bunch of TVs, and
but they depending on location, like these kids. I'm telling you, you've just got to make the price right. But these kids will be there all day, every day. I know older guys that'll be there all day, every day, gambling or whatever it is that they're gonna do. You know, as long as there's no money on the table, who cares if they're doing that? You know what I mean? But you could even block it off for a certain amount of time and have it be like 18 plus from this time to this time or something like that.
I wonder what the insurance would be because you'd be liable if anything happened in that place.
I mean, I don't think it would be too bad because it's not any physical activity like a trampoline park where you got more of a chance of somebody getting hurt. You're going in and sitting down. Mm-hmm. What's the chances of somebody really getting hurt in that place? You know what I mean? I don't think the insurance would be too bad.
I saw one. They did one at the Emerald Mall, and it was on the 3rd floor. Huge setup. They had.
Now, was it video games or was it
PC?
It was PC.
Well, there was a PC game, so there was like 15 actual setups with a PC, Xbox, and PlayStation all in one setup. Mm-hmm. So there was like 8 on one side, 8 on the other side, and then there was a big TV with a lounge area that you could sit and do like tournaments or whatever they did. But it was always dead, and I think maybe his marketing was off, or maybe it was. This was about probably 3 years ago now. I think it was just at the end of COVID. It was like a tricky spot.
I don't know if a mall or something like.
Well, especially not the Emerald Mall.
Yeah,
I mean that place is dying. Yeah. Remember that place when it was? Do you remember the Emerald Mall? That place was, I mean, I bring her, she's not from around here. That place was, I mean.
That was where you went.
That was the spot.
Yeah, it was the spot.
I love that place.
They had the sneaker stores and everything there for a while. But yeah, that was it. Then it was like power wash and, I want a second business that I don't have to be as hands-on with because I plan to put at least 15 years in doing what I'm doing now.
Yeah, it really just comes down to the marketing. If pressure washing, we're going to be launching a pressure washing division. And with that kind of stuff, it really just comes down to who has better marketing, who you can get in front of more people. That guy is going to make more money because pressure washing, when it comes down to it, it's not.
And that's where I have kind of an advantage because I have potential customers coming through my shop for that all day long. Yeah. So I can be like, I also do pressure wash. I also do bouncy houses. I also do, whatever it is I'm doing.
You actually have a very unique advantage over a lot of business owners because of the amount of traffic that comes into your shop. You could definitely leverage that.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Whichever one it is. I don't know yet. But I'm so like into this right now that.
Yeah. Because you've only been doing it for 3 years, man. You should definitely anchor down and maybe even open up a second one. So you don't have to be. And I talked to Tim about this a lot. And Tim wants to open up another one and eventually kind of be able to just branch to both, But at the end of the day, it's like you are that shop. Tim is Boulevard Barber. He's got great guys under him now.
Yeah. I don't think I want another shop because the most money I'm gonna make is actually by cutting hair. So now the only way I'm gonna make
physically cutting hair.
So now if I open up another shop, even if I have 16 chairs in there, I know how hard it is to fill up 4 in a barber shop. Yeah. So like I don't know if I want to worry about filling up 16 chairs, and I don't think I want to. Then the space I would need to even have a spot that big, that's going to be a huge rent. So then I'm worried about filling chairs just to pay. Like I don't think I want any part of that. I think I'd rather stay in a small spot where I'm paying what's $800 for rent.
Yeah, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cheap.
Cheap.
I mean, expensive. It's
expensive. Super expensive. Don't go up.
We
don't
need to
go
look
up.
for an office there.
Wow, that's
so expensive there. Let's go.
But yeah, so I think for this, I think this is like if I get an extra barber, that's cool. That's extra money. Like
how many chairs do you have that you can fill?
Well, I got 3 chairs that I can put a barber, and then I got a space for a hair braider.
Yeah. So
I can put another 4 stylists in there. But that's cool.
Do you sell product in there and stuff too? Like, do you get a commission off like product that you sell?
No, I just go. I sell like snacks and stuff, and then I was like doing do rags and picks and T-shirts and all that stuff. But like it just wasn't worth it.
Yeah, because it doesn't mesh. I mean, people are only going there to get their hair cut.
Like they do buy the hair. I did sell some of the stuff, but like the amount I had to put out just to make a little bit of money,
the amount that you had to put up to stock it.
Yeah, because they don't give you much of it. There's not much wiggle room with that type of stuff.
I wonder what else you could fill a barbershop up with that would actually do good. Have you ever put a lot of thought into that?
I thought about if I made my own like a beard oil or something like that, where I can get all the profit from.
Or you're trying to buy like a vitamin that helps with promote hair growth, or something like that.
Yeah, but if I like buy to resell, it's like they don't give you enough. Especially now, everything's so expensive. They don't really give you much room to make money.
Yeah, I know. I mean? Yeah, you ever get into drop shipping at all? You know anything about that?
Oh yeah. I used to do that.
Seems like it would be up
a T-shirt company. Yeah. I used to do it. What was it called? Teespring.
Yeah, and
they would just make one thing at a time, and Teespring would just send the orders out for me. I would make the designs on there. They would send them out. I used to do that with them.
I know a lot of people when drop shipping first started getting big were making huge money from it. And basically what you do is you just find a product and you don't physically touch the product. You just market it. And if you have good marketing and you are able to put people in the direction of your site and they buy off of your site, you can charge, say you get a $20 microphone and you charge $40 for it, you're making $20 each microphone that you sell. The better your marketing is, the more you'll end up selling. So that's kind of like a hustler's, go-to is drop shipping. There's that. There's so many opportunities online now. Have you ever dabbled with any like online crypto stocks, anything like that?
No, well, stocks now, but crypto, no. I've never done crypto.
Yeah. What are you in for stocks? Like, what do you do? You just put it in and watch it grow?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah,
just I only have like a money market account, stuff like that. But I'm just learning, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I said, when I wasn't doing the right thing, but now I'm just learning. Yeah,
the reason why I say is like a lot of the type of mindset that we have is like a very fast, like we like to be in and out on stuff, and that's stocks is perfect. It's perfect if you learn the right way to do it and you don't treat it as gambling. Which I did, and a lot of people can do very easily, like day trading and stuff like that. It gets very tricky. You have to be on it like nonstop. But if you treat it kind of like an investment tool and put your money in, and don't touch it. It's proven that it does work. Stocks is very interesting, man. You should look into it. I'll help you out with it if you ever have any questions. It's awesome.
I like to learn new shit.
So when you open, what else can we talk about? Do you have any questions?
Well, I mean, you hit on a lot of really amazing things. Like you're really focused instead of being super broad out there with, I mean, you've had different ideas like the power washing, the bouncy houses, but I like how you refocus all of your energy into what you know is successful and how you're just grooming that so that you already see that you don't want to do that forever, but you're committed for another 15 years. And I like how you're making space for your family, and it seems like you've forgiven anything that you've done in your past because it's clearly not you anymore.
No, definitely
so
not.
It's amazing that you've been able to go full circle.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that, about the decisions that you make in your past and how you can look, because like, do you ever look back on them and just say, how could I have done that stuff? And like, do you regret your past at all?
Nah. I try not to.
Would you do it all over again?
I probably would. I could say no now, but put in the same situations, I don't know if I'd make any different choices at the time. You know what I mean? I'm not mad about how things turned out. You know what I mean? I'm not mad at all about how things turned out. There's guys that I grew up with that aren't here. You know, I just lost another friend a couple of years ago. I lost one of my closest cousins, you know, when I was a little bit younger. So like, I'm still here. So like, I don't regret any choices I made.
Yeah.
I just know that those things made me where I was able to have the strength to turn my life. Had I not gone through those things, you know, I wouldn't have the strength to do the things that I have now. So I don't regret that shit.
Yeah. At the end of the day, man, you know, I don't think I would either. It's everything has led to this moment. Yeah. And if you're happy at where you're at right now, then everything happened for that reason. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I have no regrets, man. I'm married. I love my wife. I love my kids, man. They're all doing good. Like they're all healthy and happy. You know what I mean? They all know that I'm there. They all know they can depend on me. Like that's the person that I wanted to be. And now I'm that person. So
that's
like,
awesome. Man.
Maybe I wouldn't have ever been that person had I not been through the things I have. So
how long have you been with your wife?
Shit. We're going on. Well, we've been together like 11 years, but we're going on 8 years married now.
So you guys have been through some. She's been through a lot of that stuff with you, right?
Yeah, the growing pains for me first coming home and like locking into like doing what I had to do. She was with me through a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing when you have the right woman by your side.
Oh my
what
God,
you can do.
Definitely, man, definitely.
I hope that everybody can experience that at some point in their life.
Yeah.
But to have somebody that just knows you so well and knows your potential and pushes you to that potential. I had the first episode we did. I had a friend of mine, Francois, on. And he said something that resonates with me to this day. He was talking to his wife, and you know, they were having a conversation, and he asked, "What's bothering you?" or something along those lines. And she looked at him and said, "You're not reaching your full potential." And he said that just hit him like a ton of bricks. Or he was doing something that she finally saw his full potential. And when you have somebody like that by your side, you know, you can do anything. And especially in this time that we're in right now, with networking, social media, with the age that we're at, the wisdom that we have, the experiences that we've been through, what we have to offer to other people. And, you know, I can tell you're not a closed-minded person, that you take information and you process it and make your own opinions. That's something, man. That's strong, you know. And when you have a woman by your side that can push all that stuff out of you, and it's huge, man.
Yeah, she was the hardest part for me. Like in the last 10 years was like, besides like losing my mom and stuff, was quitting music.
Why did you quit?
Just because it was just time. You know what I mean? Like I'm still like I still
love
music.
You still make beats and stuff?
Well, I still write. I've always written. You know what I mean? But like it was just time for me to like focus. You know what I'm saying? And like. Was getting older, be a little more realistic about what, you know what I mean? Because the goal was always just to be successful, not to just be a star. Like it was never that. It was just like, can I take this to success? You know what I mean? And then once I got to a point where it was like, you know, it was just like time to like change direction a little bit. You know what I mean? So I still have a record label. I signed an artist. We pushed him for a while. Didn't really work out, but you know what I mean? It's still something that I'm interested in. It just was time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Music's tough. It's,
music doesn't pay.
Not at first.
Music doesn't pay unless you get on. You know what I'm saying? And I've like
a lot of people around here have a hard time with that. You see a lot of people from Atlanta blow up, and you know, down in Florida. What do you think that is? That like up in Boston and the Rhode Island area, people just don't come out of this area.
It's because of money. That's it. It's really because of.
You think it's just because of like the right promoters on around here or something?
No, it's just because guys that are all right. So a guy that's in Atlanta, he could be worth $20,000. The guy up here is worth $20,000. The guy in Atlanta is going to put $20,500 into his music. The guy from up here is going to put $500 into his music and say, "Damn, nobody wants to listen to my music. I'm not getting on." Down there, they just have a different mindset. Like they'll go all in. It seems like I haven't met a lot of artists here that are like willing to like go all in, quit their job. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just make music and struggle and. You know, like that. It's just about what you're willing to do for it. And I honestly did it for a while, and I mean I saw some success, but I just couldn't do it anymore. I be honest, I couldn't make those kind of sacrifices.
Was it expensive to get that stuff?
Yeah.
Was it
expensive? Over the years?
Marketing?
Oh my God.
The marketing, the studio time. What's expensive about it?
Everything, man. The consistency of it.
And the time that you're
because you're
in.
always promoting something. You always have to be paying the market something. You can't just stop because you've released a record and now some time's passed and you don't have anything new. If you're not promoting that record, you're just promoting yourself as an artist. So it's just the consistency of it. Yeah. I went a year. I before I stopped making music, I went 56 weeks where I dropped a song every week. Every single week, I wrote a new song and put it out on Spotify. They're all up on Spotify and iTunes. I went 56 weeks in a row just to try to
the consistency. You wanted to lock down
beat the algorithms on Spotify. They were getting so much music. I was getting more streams.
Was it working?
It was working, but just not. I didn't have the amount of money to put behind it. I got the idea from an artist named Russ. He did it for 2 years.
Russ,
dude, did it for 2 years. Yeah. 2 years. He put out a song every week.
We love Russ.
But he had a huge budget. He had a huge budget behind him. So when he put out a record, it was impactful. It was on every platform. You know what I mean? So
because he had the money to push it out on those platforms.
Because he had the money to put it where it needed. And plus his music was great.
Yeah.
But he had the money for you to know it was great. For 1 million people to know it was great, you have to be able to put it for that many people, you know?
What do you think it is with these BLP koshers, all these new guys coming out? Have you ever heard of that kid? That white kid that came? Mm-hmm. They come out with the music. I think is trash. A lot of this is trash.
Is it rap music?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
awful, man.
It's a lot of awful music out.
But he blew up, and I don't understand.
It's just really I hate for it to be so simple because I love music and I hate to discourage people.
I want him to see BLP Kosher really quick. Go to BLP Kosher on YouTube, and it's probably going to be his first song. I just want you to see. If you
put out a song, right, and I put your song in front of 20 million people, right, 20 million people,
it's got to get there first, though.
Yeah, but if you can spend enough money, you can put it on platforms where at least 20 million people can hear it. Yeah. If you get 100,000 people to buy your music, then you're a artist. That's why it's all about how much money.
I used to iHeart movies. They think my life a movie. I'm a dreidel, it's a juvie. I'm getting cheese, you a cornball, pirate's booty. Gun up in my pants. I put the can soup.
We're watching. This is why he's on though. We're watching it right now.
So is it a virality thing? All right, Ash, that's good.
They spent the money for people to want, you can pay YouTube to put you higher in the searches. You can pay Google to put you higher in the searches. You can pay radio stations to play it. You can play all the platforms to play it. So all these people add up, and all you're looking for is a percentage. Like I said, 100,000 people out of 20 million, you'd be like, oh, that's a small percentage. Yeah, but 100,000 people that buy your album every time it drops is a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Major artists aren't selling 100,000 records anymore because of streaming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's really all it's about. Why is it Trash Guy on? Because they put him in front of 50 million people, and 1 million people liked him out of 50 million people. That's a lot.
But there has to be that one song though, or that one moment that allows.
No, I don't think so.
I
really don't
think so. It just comes down to
think about
because it's so different.
And when we listened to the radio back in the day, they just played the same
songs
all
How many
day,
songs did you know?
I didn't like the first time I heard it. But after 7 times
and you even know these songs.
Yeah,
they'll come on and you know the song.
That's
it. You get programmed. Yeah, you get programmed to like the song. You get programmed to like the records. You get programmed for it to be recognizable to you. So that's all it's really about. You spend enough money. If you can get it in front of enough people, you're just paying percentages. Then, all right, 20 million people. So, bro, we're just trying to get 100,000. 100,000 people is a lot. It's a fucking lot coming to shows, buying your records and shit.
Yeah, because when you come out with something else, they're going to know already that name.
Now, that 100,000 is how many people, you know what I mean? But that's all it's about. That's what I learned. And that was the discouraging thing for me towards the end of making music. I was like, I don't have the money to maintain this. So the only other way is to go viral, luckily go viral.
And then you don't need as much money.
But most of the times the guys went viral, go viral because they had the money to put that video in front of a lot of people. So it just kind of goes hand in hand.
So do you think this kid got some big money behind him?
100%. You can tell by the quality of the video. That's Drake quality video.
Yeah. For a no-name.
But that's Drake quality video though. It looks like that could have easily been a Drake video. Yeah, he has a lot of money behind him.
Yeah.
And he has a sound. Might not be a sound that I like, but these young kids do like that type of sound. Yeah. He's goofy. How many goofy kids do you know like that?
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
So even though you don't like it, the goofy kids that look like him, that can't rap, they like him because they can rap just as good as him. You know what I mean? So there's a market for everything.
Yeah.
There's a movie. You ever see this old movie called Pootie Tang?
No, no, I've heard of it.
It's an old stupid movie, but
I've seen the
Pootie Tang puts out a song, and it's blank. There's nothing on this. There's nothing. The radio's playing it, and the DJ's acting like it's hot. There's nothing.
Words or anything.
It's just it's no word. The CD, they put the CD in. It's a blank song, and everybody loves it because he's Pootie Tang. Wow. Yeah. So, but that's
it just works.
Yeah,
it's just
how it works. But that's how the music industry works, though. It's really just about how much money you can put up. The DJs, DJ Who Kid came out and did an interview, and they were at some festival, and they were like, "Oh, what do you think is gonna go down?" He's like, "A lot of I can't think of what they pay when you pay the DJ."
So who's making the money? Who's making the money?
Labels.
The labels are making the money, but they have guys that are going out and putting money behind these artists to make that money.
Yeah, because all right, so that he stinks, right?
Right.
They put $5 million behind him.
The label.
Say
they'll send somebody out.
Say they do. They're probably not even that much, but say they put $5 million behind him. So now he puts it together a record. He's gonna be on Spotify's first playlist when you go on Spotify. He's gonna be in Apple's first playlist when you go on Apple. They're gonna play his song behind a couple of commercials. His video is gonna come up top in the search on Google. Like when you go down your Instagram timeline, you're gonna see a clip of his stuff. That's all paid for. All of that stuff is paid for.
So
now how much money are they gonna make off of him now when those 100,000 goofy kids want to buy his album? That's selling for $10.99. That's $10 million. He sells one
people
copy.
Still buying albums?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
And he's doing most of the work.
He's doing most of the work.
Just manipulating where he needs to be. He's the pawn. So they're making
They sign him to what they call a 360. They sign him to a 360 deal. So anything he does in his name, image, or likeness, the label gets all the money until he pays back the money that they gave him,
which is like $1 million.
And then they have a trailer for like 10 years where they still own his ass, where he can't do anything.
I know that the 360 deal is like a complete trash deal. And
but if you're a guy, that's working at Job Lot,
$1 million,
and they say we're gonna give you $1 million, but we're gonna make $20 million off you or $100 million. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. You know,
$1 million.
You know how quick they go through that $1 million?
Oh yeah. And then they end up owning the label. Yeah. Especially if the album flops, then they end up owning the label. So yeah, music games, it's tough. It's a tough one.
Have you been watching that Drake beef with You've Been Staying?
I love it.
He's good, man.
I love
it. Are those written from somebody else?
I don't know, but I love it. I love rap beef because guys have to. I like lyrical rap. I like the other stuff a little bit, but I like lyrical rap when guys are going at each other. So I love it. I hope they keep doing it. Yeah, I think I had a conspiracy about it. I think that the guys that do lyrical rap we're going extinct. So if we don't do something to get these guys interested in this rap shit again, we're out of here. Beef? I think so. Yeah, I think it was created because you got everybody throwing their hat in now. You know, it will only be a matter of time for Jay-Z's.
They're so good at keeping attention.
It's the only thing that's going to keep it alive, because if it keeps going the way it's going right now, I don't know how long it'll be around.
Yeah, because you got like your top 4, top 5 guys, and once they start fading out, I don't even know.
The new music isn't like, it's not like sustainable. It's not like something you're going to listen to. The stuff we grew up on, we're still listening to it today if it comes on and we love it. For
sure. I was just talking the other day. I was like, I can't listen to this shit anymore.
But they're not going to listen to the stuff that they listen to now in 10 years. They're not going to hear that shit. It goes out so fast. I don't know. Music's, I feel like an old head, but music just sucks.
I know. And that's the thing. Like, so my son, he's 13 years old, and I like to pick his brain on the music he's listening to. And he came up with an artist the other day. He's like, Dad, because he knows I know all the artists. I know I've been listening to rap forever, and I know all different types of music. And he was showing me this rap, and it was just all gang. It was, and I'm like, Michael, I can't keep listening to this stuff, man. And it's all they're pushing. It's drugs, gangs. Do you think that shit is part of their agenda? Do you think there's an agenda behind this shit?
Oh yeah.
What do you think the overall? Why? What do you think it is? Over just corporate money, just buying the Louis, buying Nike, buying. It's pushing all these.
They're targeting like younger teenagers and the preteens and stuff now, like from 12 to like 17, 18, maybe even 20. Like those kids are all targeted now. All these kids are running around saying, "Gang, you're like 13."
I know
about gang. They're running around with guns and shit, like just in one socket. Like, bro, there's no need for anything that you're doing. You're seeing kids in Chicago on Instagram doing that shit that actually live in a place where they feel like they need it, and they're doing it out here in one socket. Like, this is a damn retirement town. Like,
what do you think the overall, like, why do you think they're pushing that stuff? Because they are. They're pushing it.
I guess because it sells the record labels, because it sells records. I guess
the virality factor of it.
Well, they're also preying on the ideal. We're reproducing children who are going to spend their money like we were saying when we were younger. Did we invest our money? Absolutely not.
No.
As soon as we got $1 or we got that check for $7 an hour for the end of the week, we reinvested it into economics. We went and bought food. We went to and filled our gas. So that money, they're creating these children to just get it and spend it. And they're, and they're on a lower vibe with all of these songs. We actually, as parents, have to be proactive and listen to this crap.
Yes.
Because there is a bigger agenda. So if we don't know what they're telling our children to do and what it's okay, then we're just
it's even worse for women, females right now. Do you hear the female rap that's out?
Yeah, it's terrible. It's disgusting.
My daughter can't listen to that stuff. None of that stuff, bro.
But they're going on Ellen. They're like going on like
it's horrible, bro. Like you're teaching like we had raunchy stuff back then.
Yeah, Lil' Kim. Yeah.
But there's not one female artist I can think of that does hip hop that isn't just doing the raunchiest
like
stuff.
Sexy Red.
The
what is up? What is going on?
It's the worst. All of the new stuff is just all about sex, drugs, and fashion.
With the catchiest
and those are the three
beat.
biggest industries with the catchiest beat.
Yep.
And that's who runs the music industry. Is alcohol. Everything's about some kind of different brand of alcohol. The fashion industry, they run it. Everything's about fashion. Everything's about fashion. You got guys, I don't care what people do with their life, but you got guys doing stuff that they do it overseas, like dressing more feminine and stuff like that, because it's a fashion thing. Everything is related back to fashion, or fashion, drugs, and alcohol. Everything. That's the whole game now. There's no positive messages anymore. Like there's no Tupacs. There's no none of that shit anymore.
I see people's lives getting affected by music. I see the type of music they listen to, and I see how they live, and they live like the music they listen to. And that can really destroy somebody's life.
Best music out right now is country music.
Yeah.
It's the best music out. My wife listens to country.
What do you think? How do you think they do you think that they have an agenda? Do you think that they're doing similar stuff?
What, country?
Yeah, like rock music. Like why?
No, I think country's like
soul.
It's like the purest form of music still right now, because I listen to country songs and the guy's singing about how much he loves his wife.
Yeah.
The guy's singing about
how the thunder rolls and
about a hard day at work in the field and shit.
Yeah.
Or like it's just and they're telling stories. Like there was one song my wife plays all the time. It's called "The Long Way Home," and the guy's just talking about, he's telling his wife that he's coming home. He might be a little late, but he's just gonna take the long way home today. And he's just talking about he had a long day at work and all this shit. But that's good music. What's going on? You're not gonna find anything like that in hip hop right now.
But it talks about relatable scenarios in life. It talks about heartache, and I loved him my whole life, but then he married my best friend. But they put it in a great lyric where
hip hop used to be. Hip hop used to be that.
Yeah,
and now it's lost all of that. Yeah, it's lost that. Yeah.
Nas was
the only ones doing it are those older cats that still put music up. The rest of it is just
But that's a good question, Michael. Like, why do you think country music has been able to maintain a
sustainable? That's what I'm trying to.
A wholesome vibe versus all other genres
not having to turn to the demonic side.
Yeah,
hip hop was always kind of based on braggadocious shit from the beginning. So I think it was like a natural progression for it. Country music has kind of stayed true to what it's been about the whole time. It's more like all American type stuff, situational stuff, family stuff, relationship stuff. It's always been the same thing. It's never changed. And how many a country artist right now could walk into any restaurant in this whole city and just sit down and eat regular if he wanted to, right?
What do you think is the more profitable industry
even if he's famous, because he's not out there wearing huge chains.
Right.
He's not out there wearing diamonds, anything that anybody's going to want to rob him for. He doesn't have any of that vibe. He's not vibrating like that. He's just out and he looks like a regular person. So like, that's the difference. Any hip hop artist that you see, any pop star that you see can't do that.
Yeah.
It's a whole different vibe. They can't just be around people and just sit in a restaurant and eat a sandwich and shit. No, it's going to be all hectic and crazy. People will be excited to see Morgan Wallen, but they're not going to lose their shit and start shooting the place up.
What do you think's the what do you think's the more profitable industry right now, country or rap?
I think rap is because of what they're doing, because they're exploiting it, like she said.
Yeah.
I think that's why they're exploiting it so bad. It's so watered down now. And it's just,
I think it goes beyond even the lyrics. It goes into the actual music that's it
The
has
visuals.
a different hertz for each.
Yes, yes.
So
That's
it's
an actual
penetrating.
Right.
It's
That's a real
penetrating
thing.
the subconscious mind
Yeah.
instead of just, we're singing the song maybe.
The radio actually
but-
stopped broadcasting music at a different hertz that you're saying, and they started broadcasting it on a different
I've
signal.
heard that.
Like a
Ash,
certain
can you
amount
see
of
if there's
years
an
ago.
article about that? I did
can't
hear
remember
about
what
that.
it is. I think it's like 44 kilohertz now.
Yes,
But
that is
before,
what Hitler used. He used Hertz 444 during his campaign to tell everyone that
mind control.
that it's mind control and it's Hertz 444.
Yeah.
It's really
And then they
deep.
changed it. Yeah, it used to be different. It used to not be so bad to hear like on your ears. Like you can go on YouTube and find
What is
it's
this?
called like the God frequency. I can't remember
the
what it's called.
great
999.
frequency
Yeah.
change of 1941.
Yeah, radio frequencies.
Yeah, I can't read that, but can you zoom that in a little bit?
But they actually say that this new frequency is bad for your health. Like,
It
it's
is, and
literally
think
bad
about
for your
what
health.
Apple's doing. Apple's saying, put it deep into your ears, put that frequency
Yeah,
right
yeah,
into your brain. And people are wearing those from the time they wake up to the time they go to
Mhm.
bed, and wondering why their head hurts. It's because they're literally
Where they're feeling
training
uneasy,
us, or
but
their anxiety,
Yeah,
their
anxiety,
depression.
The God was to coordinate an assignment of radio frequencies and minimize interference, especially between countries. The plan, yeah, man, this goes deep. This goes deep. I think frequencies are something that we're starting to tap into a little bit more. Like, I think that's how they did the pyramids. I think they found a frequency that was that gave them the ability to move heavy objects and cut heavy objects. I can't think of any other way they would be able to build those without some type of frequency vibe that we've never tapped into yet, or some type of technology that we've never touched yet.
Well, I definitely believe in like frequencies are real. Like it was like when you walk into a room,
The energy.
that's like a real thing.
Yeah,
you can
it
feel
is.
it. Like you get like certain people walk in the room will make you sick.
Yeah,
They're
I
vibrating
know,
on a
you're
totally
right.
different frequency than you know what I mean. I trust that shit every time
Mhm.
because there's a reason why you're making me feel that way. Because that
Mhm.
person's not making me feel that way, and those people aren't, but you are.
Yeah.
So like I pay attention to it. So my wife is so big on like frequencies and vibrations and stuff like that. And she's like, you got to trust those things because it's your body telling you that there's another frequency near you that you're not like meshing with. You know what I mean?
Energy is real.
It
Energy is
is.
real for sure.
My
Energy is real.
daughter's in college and she started a t-shirt and sweatshirt business, and her first big one was Energy Doesn't Lie. And that's all that's on the sweatshirt, and it's the most popular, and because it's true. A lot of people understand that, even if you don't understand physics or anything deeper than that, or quantum physics, you understand like this feels odd.
It doesn't
like,
feel right. Yeah.
I need to leave, or you're not comfortable to speak your mind because something's not right, and that is all energy. We can't lie.
No, I agree.
Yeah, that's when did you like tap into that?
More in the last couple of years, because I said like my wife's like always been super into it. She's always like super into like manifesting things.
Yeah.
And like I started to understand, like I didn't really understand the whole manifesting thing at first, but that's a real thing too, man.
I was
Like,
gonna bring that up.
It's like
Yeah.
thinking, like it's like when you think about something, it doesn't exist yet. So the manifesting is you write it down, now it actually exists. Like I have a lot of like feelings when it comes to that. So it's like I believe like that you can create it because like I thought about it, so now I created a thought. And I wrote it down, so now it actually exists. My idea actually exists here. It's matter now. It's not just a thought anymore. Now it's actual matter that you can see and touch. Mm-hmm. And like the more that you feed yourself with these, you keep giving yourself these affirmations and you keep doing that manifesting. Like I think about the things that I'm manifesting and I can remember the things that I wrote down now and like
that are true.
And it's like every day, like if I'm doing something that doesn't go in what I've been trying to manifest for myself, I get that feeling.
Yes.
That you feel like when somebody's in the room and you got that bad vibe, I get that feeling now. So I believe it. And
when you're not doing enough to work towards that manifestation.
And it works, bro. Manifesting shit really, really, really works. I'm not saying that it just really works.
What do you think that is? What do you think the root of manifestation? Because you and I both know we have been manifesting things for the last year, and I promise you, every single one of them have happened.
The turnover rate is quicker when there's more than one person thinking about that manifestation as well. It's like it doubles it. So imagine if we had a group of 150 people just manifesting the same thing. Like, we want this to happen.
See,
everybody's focused on that
so
goal.
crazy.
That's when it turns over quick.
That's why, like, I'm not gonna say I'm not a religious person, but religion is the same thing. When somebody's like, "Oh, can you guys pray for this?"
Yeah.
All you're all doing is manifesting what this person was. So you're making that person's manifestation stronger because you're manifesting that this person's gonna be all right. You're manifesting that they're gonna get through this situation. Now you got thousands of people doing that. That must be like the strongest thing ever.
You know what
many people manifesting.
You know what I think's happening right now in this world? I think that we're all manifesting World War III. I think that that's out there so much. People want to see. I feel like every time I turn on or look at my phone, there's we're about to head into a nuclear. We're about to this.
Purpose too.
The doomsday clock is 90 seconds to midnight. North Korea is the. I feel like there's so much negativity out there right now, and that's a form of manifestation. That's a form of
fear, false evidence appearing real. It's the propaganda of our news stations.
Yeah.
Because only, 3 people own all of our news outlets. So, of course, their agenda is going to take over. Just like with music. If an artist wants to blow up, he has to have that financial backing to push it out to the masses. Our news channels have that backing, and they push it out to the masses in every outlet. TikTok, Instagram, every news station.
And then they can direct it straight towards you. They know they see your habits and what you're into. So when you go, you can have 5,000 people as friends on your page, but 400 that agree with what you're thinking are what you're gonna see.
Yep.
That's really how they do it. Like I have like 17,000 people on my music page. When I used to post, and I didn't understand it at first until that guy used to show me about social media. He's like, bro, it's because there's probably only 500 or 600 people seeing what you're posting. They want you to pay for the rest of the people to see it. And they're only letting the people that agree or have similar ideas see your post, so that way you can get more interaction. They're not going to show my shit to a bunch of, people that don't believe the same thing. They want the same people to see it, so there's more interaction. They can show more ads, all that bullshit.
Man, it goes deep.
Goes deep.
Have you ever thought? Have you ever thought about doing a podcast at your shop, like some type of live stream or something?
I thought about it. It's just I try to keep a certain.
So here's my thing, right?
Like something like this would work, but the guys that would want to come do it.
Yeah, but listen, but you're closed Sundays and Mondays, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So set a 4-hour time slot on Sundays, a 4-hour time slot on Mondays, and book people to come in and get a haircut. And they can come in for free, get a haircut for free, but you got to agree that you're going to be on, you're going to be on this podcast, and just like this, just have fun, just sit down, talk, conversation.
It's something I would do.
Yeah, that would be fun. What do you think of live streaming right now? Like, do you think that we're in the beginning stages of this actually becoming a huge thing?
And I hate it.
You don't like it? You don't like it because it doesn't entertain you, or you just don't like the idea of it?
The ones I see, it's like, I don't know, just maybe it's just what I'm seeing. But it's like, it's weird still kind of to me.
You're talking about like the Aiden Rosses and all that?
It's kind of weird still to me. Like this is different. This is a show. I'm watching 2 people interact with each other. They're having a conversation. If I'm a viewer, I'm watching them have a conversation. I have my opinion about it, whatever. That's different. To have somebody just put one camera in their face and just like, I don't give a shit what your opinion is. I don't even, like, it's weird. You know what I mean?
A lot of people do.
Like, people are just talking like, yeah, I went and did this today and I went and did that today. And I'm like, that's really weird because I don't give a shit. Yeah. I don't even know you. Yeah. Why do I care what the fuck you ate for lunch?
Yeah. But that's what's changing about our society now. We were primed with MTV with the reality TV shows. This is the next step to that, where people actually people are nosy.
Yes.
At the end of the day, you might not be because you're focused. You've got this going. It's a different but the average person wants to watch somebody brush their teeth. Like it's weird.
It's weird,
but that's their new reality, which is why TikTok and all of the YouTube shorts are going to blow up continually because people want to be inside your life. No, they don't want to do it. It's a lot of work.
I can see you turn it on TV now and that's all you see because people would rather watch that than a regular show. People would rather watch you argue with your girl. Our kids don't talk about her boyfriend and how he
all day.
Yeah, all day.
Our kids don't watch TV. They don't watch shows. They don't watch movies.
TikTok all day.
It's TikTok. It's streaming.
They just put a ban on TikTok through
today. It passed. Today it passed. Ash, pull up that article.
I don't know
want
what
to see
that
what
means.
that's all
Is it
about.
gonna like? Are they gonna like delete the
So
app? I
here's
know they
the-
want a US based company to.
It's never
to
going to
run
happen.
it. Yeah.
Well, here's my opinion on it. What does that say? First article. I just want to see what this says. President Biden
Hey, your
signs
boy's
a law.
good, man. He's
Yeah,
nice
he's
on
on
that.
it.
He pulled
Yeah.
that right up.
Signs a ban on TikTok nationwide. Okay, unless it's sold. But here's the thing about that. The owner of TikTok, which owns ByteDance, came out publicly and said, I am not selling TikTok anything less than $500 billion. Now, I hope I'm right about that, but I'm pretty sure,
shit.
Ash, put owner of TikTok agreement to sell to an American-based company or something. So
That's crazy that the US can just bully them and be like, yo,
here's
sell
the
us
thing.
your company or get out of here. That's kind of nuts
Here's
that
the
they can
thing,
even
bro.
do that.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. They're collecting a lot of data from us, and it is a company that we are not in the greatest relationship with right now. So for them to have this much data on us, it's an uneasy feeling. And plus, there's a documentary out there. It's the TikTok documentary on YouTube. It's got like 20 million views. You should check it out. It gives you a dive into what TikTok is really about and what it was created for. They don't have TikTok in China.
No, they have it, but they have a different version.
It's all learning.
We can't get the version that they
right,
have. Yeah.
Right. So to my understanding, they are not going. No American company is going to buy TikTok because it's going to be too expensive and it's not going to be worth it. So I think it's going to end up getting shut down.
So what do they do? Just brought up another app here that like mirrors TikTok.
I mean, they probably will. What will happen to TikTok? Let's see.
TikTok is just Instagram without a timeline, like without like
Yeah.
a wall to. Like, no, you do have a wall, don't you?
You do have a wall, but I think the only thing that's different is really it's a constant live stream.
It's
or
always a
constant
video.
Reel.
No,
or
okay.
Yeah.
You know what I find the biggest difference is it's tailored to you specifically to a T. I mean, the content is much better and much more entertaining, and it's way more. I don't know how can
Interactive.
Yeah.
It's kind of interactive.
It's definitely from a security standpoint. I can definitely see why there's concern about it, and I'll actually link the video in my description of the TikTok documentary that they made about it. You should check it out.
All right.
It's about an hour and a half long, and it goes into the owner who owns ByteDance and why it was created, and a little bit about the back history on that. But nobody's going to want to buy it for the amount of money that he wants, so he's probably just going to fall down with sink with the ship.
I wonder if there's a date on when they're gonna shut it down. My daughter's gonna be devastated.
I think they have they
Yeah.
have 72 hours. I think. Wow. I think there's there's a certain amount of a time limit that they have.
A lot of people are going to lose their revenue.
Yeah,
What's
they're
that?
gonna
Saturday?
come in,
Does that say June
That sucks,
1st?
yeah, a lot of people that's like their bread and butter right
Yeah,
there. Yeah.
What's
a
that
lot of
say?
drop
January
shipping
2025. It'll be banned. Even without the extension, the earliest the ban will start is January 25. With the extension, it could go into April. And with TikTok threatening legal action.
Oh, so it's gonna take a while.
Yeah, it will, but it's heading there. I'm interested to see if the American people, which we've got a large base on TikTok, will fight for that. I mean, we do have a say, or they say that we have a say. That's what democracy is. But in this case, I don't know if
there's no way for them to like safeguard the app so that way they can't get the data, or there's
because
Facebook had the same thing going on where they were collecting everybody's data.
Yeah, but it was an American-based company.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they started in America, so they had more legal ground.
Okay. This is a Chinese-based company. It's still owned in China, and I'm pretty sure the biggest reason and the biggest thing is they're collecting a lot of data from us, and that from a security standpoint, I guess that's probably not the best thing. But yeah, man, it's interesting. Do you use TikTok at all?
A little bit. I got a TikTok for the barbershop.
Yeah, my algorithm's all messed up, so I don't really use it that much.
My son goes on mine. He always searches up whales. My youngest, so I see on my timeline is whales and dolphins and shit.
Yeah.
So
it's amazing how we can be talking about something and then 3 seconds later we log on and what we were talking about, it could be furniture, it could be like you said, whales or something that's not within our algorithm, and it's populated in our phone.
You know that every app that comes installed on your phone already, already has permission to listen to your voice.
Mm-hmm.
It has permission to collect your data and everything. You have to literally go into every app that's on your phone and turn off the permission when you buy one.
Well,
instead of having to turn it on, you have to turn it off.
When you download an app or when you go to use an app and it says allow once, allow only this time, that's what that is.
Yeah.
And if a lot of the times if you say you don't allow it, the app doesn't function properly, which is crazy. I mean, it's a known thing that Meta is selling data. I think they just went, Ash, pull up the Meta lawsuit with YouTube. Meta was selling data, our DMs, our private messages to YouTube, and YouTube was selling back the data that we were searching for, our algorithm. TikTok, YouTube sued New York, blah, blah, blah. They were selling back our data from our algorithm and YouTube back to Meta. So they were using, data is the biggest commodity right now that there is. Yeah, play this. Perfect.
All they want to do is know where you're spending your money.
This past year saw a notable change as both state and federal governments became more aggressive about taking big tech to court. The U.S. Department of Justice and Google are awaiting the verdict of a landmark antitrust trial that alleges Google's anti-competitive behavior led to its dominance. And Meta is now the target of state lawsuits, alleging it harmed the mental health of kids and misled the public about online safety.
This is older.
Stephanie Tsai focuses on that part of the story.
This was the first lawsuit that they went through that made the stock like plummet. I ended up actually shorting the stock and making a bunch of money when this happened.
Against Meta, the parent company of Facebook, Instagram,
and
WhatsApp.
That's good. But yeah, man, that's awesome. Listen, we've been going for an hour and a half. This has been a great podcast. I see a round 2 coming. I think this is awesome. You know what I'd like to do with you, man? I'd like to put together some type of something where we can help the community out and do something maybe a holiday coming up, and we can maybe make some gift bags or some. Yeah. Sheena, what do you think?
That would be great. I mean, you have probably most of the family men coming right to you, so it would be awesome to be able to hand out during the holidays. Maybe we could do turkeys.
Yeah, we should do something like that.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Homeboy, that dude that shot the Channel 12 thing, he told me if I do something like that to let him know.
Yes.
And he'll come back out and do another episode. So if you want to like get something going, we'll set something up, and I'll let him know to come down. And
that would be awesome. That would be awesome because I've been trying to think of ways that I can help with that kind of stuff. I absolutely love helping out the community, and I haven't done it much because I haven't really been putting time into it, but I'd like to start somewhere and kind of get that foundation built where we can do something like that.
Yeah. It's something that we used to do a lot when I was still making music. It was my own thing that I put together. It was called Want More, Do More. And we would just do like park cleanups. Yeah. And we would do like, food for the, clothing drives and all that stuff like that.
Food banks, stuff like that.
When Puerto Rico flooded, we like collected a bunch of food and sent it over. And shit like that.
I would love that, man. I would love that.
We can definitely link up on something.
Babe, do we have the shirt anywhere?
Yes.
Let's give him a little gift.
Hey.
We have a gift for you, Albert. This is a CES construction shirt.
All right.
It's the first company that I started and still running. We specialize in kitchen and bath remodels and basement refinishes. Give us a call 401-862-4324. Albert, Verified Barbershop. It's an awesome story.
Thank you.
I think what you're doing, man. This was a pleasure having you on here. Is there anything else that we can look forward to?
Well, I just want to thank you, man. What you're doing here is good too, man. Giving local businesses some shine. Every local business needs any help that they can get. So I definitely appreciate it. It's a big thing that you're doing. So
absolutely,
thank you very much.
I have fun doing it.
And I'm down to let's do something for the community, man. Awesome. Connect and do something, man.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, man.
Thank you, bro.
Nice having you on. Thank you.
Thank you.